I can see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't.
Happy Homebrew Wednesday. One day late. That's if I get this put out today. We're starting off the Homebrew Wednesday with a 5.6% homebrewed Marzen from none other than Dan Follett of Barrage Brewer. Visit me, and actually we had you'll see a clip in a minute, but we had dinner together one night after work, and he actually brought me some of his homebrewed beers. I've already tasted this because this is the second of the bomber bottles that he brought me of Marzen. He brought me some Marzen. He brought me his ESB, which is really good. This Marzen is really good too. All his beers are always really good. I think that he and I are like brothers from another mother because we both like malty beers. He says he drinks to, or he brews for drinkability, and I think I kind of follow that philosophy too. So anyway, cheers to, look at that beautiful Marzen. I'm using my local homebrew shot glass, which has lost half of its letters, but look at that gorgeous color. Oh, the malt smell. Oh, love you, Dan. Cheers. Wow, what a good beer. We met on a Wednesday, I believe, and we went to this place called Portner's Brew House, which is not too far from where I work actually, but it's these two sisters who, I guess back in the day, their great grandfather, Portner, owned this brew house in Old Town Alexandria. It's not where it is today, but because they couldn't find any real estate to, put the brewery. But he owned a brewery. He came over from Germany with all his recipes and everything. And I think and this guy ended up being the very first America's Brewing Association president or CEO or president, whatever. He was the very first one. And so these two sisters, the Portner sisters, bought this place in Alexandria. They opened it up. It's a brew pub that has a really cool, like one of those old copper brewing systems in the back. And I've actually got a personal tour before from the brewer. It was really cool, and from one of the sisters. But it's really, really nice kind of brew setup. I don't know how many gallons it is. I think it's like, I don't know, whatever the kind of mid-range is. But they have really good beers. They have an awesome Pilsner. Oh, and they do really authentic, good German food. So I think you'll see the photo here. Dan's food was pretty spectacular looking. I had the sauerkraut and bratwurst, and he had a Jaeger Schnitzel, and it was one hell of a Jaeger Schnitzel. So anyway, I'll cut away.
Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody.
Check this out. Dudes eat some, is it Jaeger Schnitzel?
Jaeger Schnitzel.
Jaeger Schnitzel. I don't normally take a picture of my food, but this is awesome, and the beer is pretty good. We're here at Portner's in Alexandria. These sisters, their great-grandfather was the American Brewer Association first president, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
So anyway, cheers, guys. So anyway, you should have seen, our Portner's experience. It was a really fun night. We, had dinner, and then came back to my place, and he had did I give him a taste of the? Hopefully I gave him either I gave him a six-pack, or hopefully I gave him a six-pack. But anyway, hopefully he tasted the brown sour ale. I hope he got to taste that. Anyway, he was supposed to come over the following Saturday for a brew day. We were going to brew, and I actually know how much he likes ESB, so I went out and I changed up on him. We were going to do old school double IPA, but then I decided to do an ESB, so I got the ingredients for this Punch and Judy right here, and I went ahead and brewed that up. Unfortunately, he came down with something pretty nasty, and he wasn't able to fight it off, so ended up being me solo for the brew day. But hope you're feeling better, Dan. And again, dude, cheers. Thank you so much for the beer. Thank you so much for the friendship and the dinner. It was a lot of fun. And on that note, if you guys ever pass through DC, give me a shout. I know Larry, gave me a shout, and we linked up, and Dan gave me a shout when he came up here. But I'm always happy to, meet with fellow brew tubers, and I also have a nice guest room too. So anyway. So brew front. So I did that brew, and I guess I'll cut away here. I think I might have some footage from the brew day. Hey, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. especially this early in the morning. It is about 9:30, and I was supposed to be doing a brew day with Barrage Brewer. I'm kind of bummed he's sick. Don't know if I got him sick, because I saw him earlier this week, and I'm getting over a cold. But unfortunately, he's got to go get some Claritin and take it easy today. He's actually doing some job-related training here in the DC area for the next couple weeks. So we were going to try to do a brew day, but I changed my recipe that I was going to brew today since he was going to be down, because I know he likes ESB. So today I'm doing kind of a modified version of a recipe that I call Punching Judy. So I changed up the recipe a bit. I'm trying to remember what I have. I think I have about 6 pounds of Maris Otter. I've got some Caramel 80. I've got a little bit of Victory, about 12 ounces of Victory. What else did I put in there? There was another kind of toasty malt. Can't remember the other toasty malt I put in there. Oh, I'll put some Gold Pills Vienna, because I like the kind of graham cracker flavor that you get from that. I think that's it. I didn't put a whole lot of grains in there. But anyway, I ended up at about 9.25 pounds of grain. It's going to be about a 5.7% ABV beer. I'm using Y Yeast 1968 London ESB. And for hops, I'm just going straight East Kent Goldings, just 3 ounces of East Kent Goldings. Just mostly bittering, just a little bit of, I think, in the last 15 minutes, not a whole lot. I'm not trying to get any real hop character other than bitterness. So anyway, yeah, that's what we got. And right now I'm heating up, waiting to get up to 171 so I can mash in. So cheers. And I'll go take a shower real quick and come back and try to film this brew day so it can be a homebrew Wednesday. Cheers. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention was so I didn't want to be trying to crush grain with Dan this morning. That was when I thought he was coming over. So at the homebrew store yesterday, I used their grain crusher. But then when I got it home and I put it into the mash tun, it didn't look like it was crushed enough. I still saw some whole kernels and everything. So I went ahead and I double crushed it, most of it, all but about the last pound, I guess. Never double crushed grain before, so we'll see what it does in the mash. Okay, I'm back. I'm got the brew house in proper configuration. We're doing a underlet right now. Yeah, see if we can see any water coming in yet. Nope. All right, boring. Cheers. Okay, pay no attention to the washer and dryer in the background, but here is the first collectings of Punching Judy version 4. It's gonna be a redder color than I intended, but I don't know, maybe it'll simmer down once I get some more water in there. Okay, so a little bit more about this this bitter Punching Judy. This is version 4. Putting the Victory and the changing up to the Crystal 80. Kept the same yeast. Changed the fuggles. The hops a little bit. Took out the fuggles and just left it straight East Kent Golding. So my runoff was 90. My target pre-boil is 1050 and the OG is 1057. I'll probably be off on the pre-boil, but be dead on the OG. That's kind of generally how it's been going with my system. EKG, an ounce at 60, 0.75 ounce at 30, then the Wurf Lock and Yeast Nutrient, and then at 5 I'm going to go 1.25 ounces of EKG, so total of 3 ounces. That should get me around 41, 42 IBUs. So yeah, there I am. I'm still missing one of the grains. I need to remember what it was. Oh, amber malt. So I have Victory. I have a little bit of amber malt, Maris Otter, Crystal 80. I think those are the... Oh, and then the Gold Pills Vienna. So yeah, so it's 5 different grains, 1 base, and 4 specialties. Should be kind of a... I don't know. I'm going to max out the bitterness, low hop character, and have a good mix of kind of toasty, biscuity kind of notes. And I wanted the color to be just a little bit lighter than I normally do with Punching Judy. So we'll see how it goes. I'm got about a gallon and a half collected, maybe almost 2 gallons. A little bit behind time, but that's not too bad. Cheers. Haven't done this view in a while. Something mesmerizing about it. I don't know why. Look at that color. Nice red. Actually, it's gonna be the right color. I think it's lightening up just fine. Oh, almost there. Smells good. And cheers. Okay, we just did the hot break and the first hot drop at 158, so I got an hour boil. My starting gravity, I had to top up quite a bit of water. Whenever I do a low gravity beer, like a English bitter or a very low gravity pale, I usually have to top up water because I don't like sparging below 1010, so I haven't figured that out yet. But anyway, starting gravity, or the pre-boil gravity was 1043. The target was 1050. So I'm kind of happy with that because I was going to have a 1057. I'll probably be closer to a 1050 or 50, somewhere between 1050 and 52 is probably what I imagine I'll get, and that's cool. I don't normally do that low gravity beers. And I think for an English bitter, that's a good gravity. So anyway, going pretty strong. All right, nothing else. All right, I ended up a lot lower in gravity than I thought. Ended up 1050. So yeah, I'm way low in my numbers. It was I don't know. Maybe got to address the gravity on my grain or something. But oh well. I think a 1050 ESB will work out. I can work with that. But so that was the brew day I did. The ESB, I call it Punch and Judy. I used to have a different recipe. I kind of slightly modified it to go a little lighter and a little less alcohol. Anyway, that was that brew day. It's still bubbling kind of slightly. I brewed it on Saturday. It's still kind of bubbling away a little bit. Probably check a gravity sample either tonight or maybe tomorrow or maybe this weekend. I don't know. My family is heading out for spring break, so I'll be all alone here this coming week. Think I'm gonna brew on Sunday. I'll probably do some kind of IPA. I don't know if I'm gonna do old school. Might do kind of a lighter IPA, something around 7%. Got my results back from, I think I talked about this maybe the last Homebrew Wednesday, the midwinter Milwaukee. Didn't do so hot, but I got the score sheets back, and it was kind of what I thought. They really liked the base recipe, but they thought it was a little bit too much of a sour bite. I wished I would have gotten those results back a couple of weeks sooner before I did the next version of the Deliverance. It's not quite as sour as the first version, so maybe it'll do better. I sent off my 2 entries, a tart vanilla brown and my barley wine. I sent off that to the National Homebrew Competition, and then I sent off a tart vanilla ale, DC Homebrewers sponsored Cherry Blossom competition. So we'll see how that does. Hopefully I'll, somebody in those 2 competitions will like it. So that makes 3 competitions for this year. I think that's good, and I've done that in the first quarter, so I think I'm good with competitions. Now I'm gonna kind of settle down and do some fun brewing. Still looking forward to doing a big brew day with my buddies, my poor buddies up in Pennsylvania, and Dan and Larry down in Norfolk. Other than that, that's kind of where I am. I think that's the update on the brew. Right now on tap, I've got Dropkick Nate at 6.2%. I've got the Deliverance, still got some tart vanilla brown, and then I have the Dean's Bourbon Barrel Porter is still holding strong. DB2P. That'll probably be the next one to go. I'll probably bottle up the rest of that and have a keg open for the Punch and Judy. I'm looking forward to the Punch and Judy. I like ESBs, and I'm curious to see what this modified recipe is gonna turn out. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Think that's about all I had for today, so I won't drag this out. I'm only at 9 minutes. We'll see what that does with the extra videos. So hey, have yourself a happy homebrew and have a very, very happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers.